And we're kind of going back in the past with this one. We're going to be reviewing, I'm going to not butcher the name real quick. Hold on. Live, Love, ASAP came out 2011.
Yeah.
And around this time, I believe this was 7th grade middle school for me.
Okay.
Do you remember where you were at?
I do remember I was at.
Where?
I was in Colorado Springs.
Academy?
No, Peterson.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at Peterson. I was 2 years into my Air Force career. And my homie Dub was the one that put me on.
Yeah.
At this time, this is when like Dat Piff live mixtapes popping. So like if it's on there, like you've made it. Same spot I found Mac Miller.
Gotcha. So before we get in, we know at the end we're going to give our rates and everything, but I kind of just want to talk about how I feel about the album. Okay. So yesterday, I was a bit under the influence. Now, I feel as if that was the perfect time to listen to the album because it kind of like a lot of the subject matter relates, right? And essentially, I have a love-hate relationship, and here's why. So you really put me onto the Houston music, right?
Yeah.
And it's littered all over the album.
Exactly.
But it's kind of like, it's kind of bittersweet in a way because it's like, okay, we got this dude from New York taking like a Houston and South, I guess, sound. You know what I'm saying? And he did pretty good making it mainstream. Yeah. But it's kind of like, I feel as if Houston itself never really gets their credit. You know what I mean? Never really gets their flowers. So
Agreed.
So that for me is kind of like bittersweet about the album. So that's one aspect about it.
I think for me, the first time I heard it, my homie had to like nudge me to listen to it because I was like, when he kind of gave me the premise, I was like, it's a New York dude with like a Houston sound. Yeah. And I was automatically, I'm like, this nigga's biting our shit. Like, you're not from Houston. Yeah. He had been there.
Exactly. So you kind of understand how I feel.
I understood. But I happened to be riding in this car.
Yeah.
He put it on and you just listen and vibe to it. Like the sound, especially at that time, is nothing like you've heard before.
Yeah.
Especially like being able to mix in some of the chopped and screwed flavors, slowing down some of the beats. Yeah. It wasn't something that people weren't like experimenting with like he was at that time. Right.
So it's kind of like, I just loved how that he was able to take the Houston slowed sound and also make it kind of psychedelic. My second thought as I was listening to the album was that it's not as polished as what's the next one in the lineup?
Is it Live Love?
I think is no.
They confuse me because they sound literally
identical.
The names of the mixtapes.
Long Live ASAP. So listening to it, it feels like he had all of his ideas with Live Love, right? And he took all of those ideas and kind of perfected it for Long Live. So in my opinion, the one after this, I feel as if it's very better because he took all the elements and just kind of polished it. Yeah. But I can still give credit where credit's due and say Live Love ASAP is a pretty decent album.
And see, that is where I am.
You disagree?
Polar opposite.
Okay.
I think Live Love ASAP is like his
the better one.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel at that point in time when he drops, he's not mainstream. Yeah. Nobody really knows about him. Yeah. The ASAP crew. His sound, like that is literally the first time anyone has ever heard of ASAP Rocky. And I think because of the sound, the people who actually like we got introduced to from the ASAP crew, like a lot of people, that was their first time hearing Schoolboy Q on Brand New Guy. Yeah. Unless you were like from the West Coast and were already kind of listening to Kendrick and Black Hippie, you didn't know who Schoolboy Q was, and he jumps on and
that's a good point.
Goes ham. Also, some of the producers that are on there, first time getting like motherfuckers didn't know who Space Ghost Perp was. Oh, right. And again, with him, Clams Casino, there were so many people who we got put onto through that mixtape.
So, if you had to give this album a rating out of 10, what would you give it?
You know me, bro.
Always generous.
The nostalgia. I don't want to say generous, but like listening to it. Number one, it's a quick listen.
Yeah. It's 49 minutes.
49 minutes.
Yeah.
You go through it like, bro, I don't think there is a track where you're like, I'm going to skip. I don't need to hear this. Like, if you just let it ride, then it's
an easy listen.
Easy listen. Yeah. And the sounds, bro, from, Pesos all the way down to, let me see what from Pesos to bass that doesn't sound like anything you heard before. Brand New Guy with him and Schoolboy Q going back and forth. Purple Swag is a fucking anthem. Yeah. Houston Old Head, Rolling Up, which is the smoke track. Like, I really legit think this is like a 10 out of 10.
Let me ask you this, right? I remember when this album came out and like everybody was all over A$AP Rocky, especially for fashion, right? Like, I think he kind of like influenced that kind of emo swag era. Mm-hmm. But why don't you think like he focuses on rap anymore? And do you think he fell off as a rapper in a way?
Oh, I definitely think he fell off.
And why do you think that is?
Oh, it's Rihanna's fault.
You think so?
Of course.
I mean, even when he dropped Testing, I even feel like Testing wasn't really his best work. You know what I mean?
I think, like you said, with the fashion, I think they've seen a part of like the money making to where like I don't have to come in here
and rap
and bust my ass. I ain't got to, lock in for 48, 72 hours and try and give you a track. Like, I'm not rapping about hoes I had anymore. I'm not rapping about struggling and drug dealing. Like, you want me to come on here and give you, this chance to rap I love my wife, type shit? I can. Yeah. I don't know if niggas want to hear it. Yeah. But at the same time, I think that's really what it stems from. It's like I've seen the money that comes from this and the creativeness that, not only him but also A$AP as a group had. I don't know if that was always his plan. Right. But I'm honestly not surprised because as far as like rapping goes, he's always been mixing in fashion. You look at some of the videos and the style and swag. That's why like the visuals for them were like always phenomenal because that is a part of them in their rap.
Going back to your rating, what would you rate it out of 10? And is it worth listening today? Did it like hold up to the test of time?
Oh yeah, definitely, bro. It's 10 out of 10. Okay. I got a 2013 Nissan Maxima sitting in the garage, and the CD is still in that motherfucker. I can't get it out, and I don't want to get it out.
Hey, you're just gonna leave it in there,
bro? I'm gonna just let it ride.
All right, out of 10, I'm gonna have to give this one a 7. The only reason is I don't know why you do that because it's kind of like a 7's not a bad number. Like it's over halfway. Okay. I just feel as if I have to reserve a little bit of room for the album after this because I would give that one.
Okay, because you do think that one is
an 8 or a 9. Gotcha. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to give it a 7. I'll definitely there's a couple cuts on there I added to the playlist, so it's a good listen.
Yeah, I also think that with Long Live A$AP, which is the second album, so for some of the folks for reference, that's the one with like Goldie on there. Yeah. Fucking Problems is on there as well. Yeah. And then is One Train's on there. So I do agree with you as far as having to reserve some room because that was like a very good album. Then also you look at some of the features that are on that album as well. Yeah.
So like One Train, like as a song, that was a damn good song on the next album.
Yeah, it definitely was. Because I mean, you look at the people that are featured on there. Yeah. That's kind of like at least at that point in time when you heard it, like this is the next phase. Yeah. Of rap.
The 8.2. So Pitchfork gave it an 8.2. I think I'm not mad at that number. As I said, I give it a 7. It's a pretty decent listen out, and it's a pretty decent listen. And I'll also recommend for somebody else to hear it. So
definitely, I think the other thing that if you are listening to it, and you come in with an idea of, like I said, my first introduction was like New York dude with a Houston sound. No one song sounds alike. No one beat sounds alike. Like it is uniquely his own style, which is I think why I enjoy it so much because you being a new rapper, I feel like it's very, very easy to like hear sounds and be like, I want to sound like this. I want to sound like Playboy Cardi. I want to on the beat. And for him to come on, he's like, no, I'm me. This is my sound. Let me ask you this.
So like with you being from Houston, right? How do you feel about artists not from Houston utilizing the sound? Like, for example, for me, sometimes being Jamaican, the amount of Jamaican samples that are just littered all over hip hop,
all over the place.
You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind it, but sometimes I feel as if the listener, Americans, can't really understand it. Like a big one for me is you remember the opening of what's that song, baby? The opening of Mercy with Kanye West. Yeah, I remember being in middle school, right, and everyone was like, "Oh man, the opening, it's like demonic and like it's they're playing crap backwards. Me speaking fluent Pato, I'm just like, nah, he's just referencing a Bible verse or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like it kind of irritates me sometimes because it's like y'all can't really appreciate the culture, but y'all still use it. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about that in the Houston sound?
I kind of feel the same way. Like for a long time, Houston rap and then also just like rap in the South was kind of overshadowed. East Coast, West Coast. And of course, you got your Atlantas, you got your Miamis, and then New Orleans, and then you come down to Houston. Our sound is so different. Yeah. And then on top of that, it already being slow. Well, we're going to chop and screw it and make it slower. I think with the recognition that we wanted and people to see that we were here and making good music, I think it comes with the territory. Okay. I think you can't want people to appreciate you and then be surprised when someone like hears that and is like, you know, I want to experiment with that sound, or I want to do something and sample this or that. Yeah. Because there are, you know, songs that are hits in Houston that people have never heard before.
25 Lighters.
25 Lighters 0. Yeah.
Peeping in my window.
Yep. 25 Lighters on my dresser. Like all of the Swisher House freestyles, the SUC freestyles. Yeah. Those are all like embedded in Houston culture. And when people really start diving into the sound, like they're gonna hear things that they like. And as far as biting goes, like as long as you give recognition, I'm good with it. Yeah. Like I remember a couple weeks ago, Juicy J was talking about how he gets sample clearance notifications through his emails 24/7, and he always approves them. Not because of the money that he knows he's gonna get from them. He's like, I'm interested in seeing how these people are gonna take this sound that I made, you know, damn near 20, 30 years ago. And I want to see what they're going to do with it. Yeah. Because, again, when you put that art out there, art is open for interpretation. However you see it and appreciate it, like, that's for you.
Yeah.